So a couple days ago, I recorded a video about how I'm really excited about having 8 billion partners again this Valentine's Day. It's the second year in a row. Last year I also had 8 billion partners, but the year before that I only had one, and I actually like having 8 billion a whole lot better. And I just remembered there are a few more notable mentions of some of my 8 billion partners that I forgot to mention in my last video. When I was in 5th grade, a classmate of mine smoked a cigarette during recess. He had shouted, "Look what I have!" in the middle of the playground, and it was a cigarette and a lighter, and I distinctly remember it was a Camel brand cigarette, and he smoked it in front of all of us. Now looking back at it, I doubt it was the first cigarette he ever smoked, because most people when they first try a cigarette will cough like crazy. He smoked quite naturally, and now looking back at it, makes me wonder how long he had been smoking at that point. And we all laughed our heads off. He was a troublemaker. Now, 20 years later, I actually still talk to him on Facebook. He has cleaned up his act considerably. He quit smoking a few years ago. And we like to say that smokers are jokers. And the act of smoking, we call it joking now. We say that who joked how many cigarettes. He sometimes smokes marijuana, but he calls it joking marijuana. I joked some marijuana, right? And I tell him about how I joked a Cuban cigar. I joke other substances too, actually. I sometimes roll cayenne pepper into a joint and joke it. And I think I might have recorded a video of myself doing that at one point. I don't remember. But he and I say that smokers are jokers now. Now, a few years after that, when I was 14 years old, I tried a cigarette myself. What had happened was there was a girl in a classroom that I wanted to talk to, and I had no idea how to start a conversation with her. I was going to college part-time, and she was considerably older than me. And I was brainstorming how to start a conversation with her. I was sitting a few rows behind her and just staring at her when I realized she had a pack of cigarettes. And that's it. I'm going to ask her for a cigarette. So we walk out of the classroom, and I asked her if she had a cigarette, and she lit it for me, and I took one. I didn't realize you had to inhale the smoke, and I thought, well, that tastes funny, but why would anybody do this? And she explained to me how to inhale, and I did, and I coughed my guts out. And I never wanted another cigarette ever since then. So that was a good experience, because it probably prevented me from smoking or joking in the future, right? And I never saw that girl again, though. Now, a few years after that, there was another girl that I liked. I think I was 16 years old now. I had gained a lot of weight when I was in my teenage years, and I needed to lose weight before talking to this girl. And I used to drink a lot of soda. I think about 2 to 4 liters a day. My parents used to want to ration and not buy so much soda. They would buy maybe 4 liters of soda and explain that it had to last until they went back to the grocery store like a week, 2 weeks later. But I would drink it all in one day. And then I would pester my parents to buy more soda, and we got into huge arguments over that. My parents could never do anything to get me to cut back on the soda. But I meet this girl in class, and I quit drinking soda, and I haven't looked back. It's been 18 years, and I've never drank another soda since. Now, the funny thing is, I never saw that girl again either. But it's good. I quit drinking the soda. I met other girls as a result. Now, later that year, there was another girl that I liked, and this girl was way out of my league. Way out of my league. And so I confided in a classmate of mine, and he helped me compose an email to her. Unfortunately, it didn't get very far, but instead I made a close friend in this guy that had helped me compose the email. He was never short of girls, and I just felt it was unfair. He was meeting a different girl every month, and here I was asking him for advice for the email and getting nowhere with it. It just felt like almost like a social justice kind of problem, a huge inequality there, right? Well, unfortunately, he got taxed. He never seemed to be more than 6 feet away from any girl, and that's what killed him a little bit over a year ago. He was only the second person in my close circle of friends to die of COVID-19. And so I don't have just 8 billion partners anymore. Right now I have 100 billion partners, right? Every human who has ever lived, right? And then there's another friend of mine. He and I used to love to be dishonest. One day I had gone to the computer lab to print something, and I accidentally sat down at somebody else's computer, and when I printed it out, I accidentally used his print quota. We get about 1,000 pages of print quota a year, something like that. And I accidentally used up like 40 or 50 pages of this guy's print quota. My friend happened to come to the computer lab, and it was an accident that I had stolen this guy's print quota, but I exclaimed to my friend, "Look what happened. I accidentally stole 40 or 50 pages from this guy because he forgot to log out." And my friend got really excited, and he goes, "Hey, let me use it. I have a big thing I needed to print." And he uses up all of the rest of the print quota. To his credit, it was late December anyway, so the guy was going to get new print quota anyway. So my friend didn't feel too bad about that. Now, when we got the printouts, the guy's username that we had stolen from was named GIF, J-I-F. His initials were. And my friend said, "See, we GIF'd this guy," because it sounds like gypped. And he and I invented all sorts of new ways to be dishonest. So not long after that, I got a credit card that gave you 10 cents every time you used it. And I came up with this idea that every time I would put gasoline in my car, I would get like multiple transactions to max out the rewards. And one day my friend and we were on the road when I did this. And as I'm pumping the gas and putting my credit card in and out, he jumps up and down saying, "GIF, GIF, 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 GIF." And life is just more fun when you have 100 billion partners rather than just that one. And I really mean it.